different parts because I don't know, hopefully that's helpful. Let's see. All right. Okay, so now we're talking about the week 8 final examination. Get it? It's an exam, but also a celebration. Okay, I don't know. I didn't make it up. It's not my fault. So, all right.
Mhm.
Okay, so you have an hour because, and they're calling it's a 3 paragraph essay exam. Okay. You don't need, it's open note, whatever, but you're not citing anything. So you don't need to worry about citations, like quoting, paraphrasing, any of it. So it's all by you in your own voice. So let me go over it. So the idea is this: you're going to plan a celebration for after getting through this course. I know it makes it sound like the course was a nightmare, but so you are going to plan a celebration uh, for after this course. And what your job is you have to present the celebration to a jury of people who will decide. Here's how I started to think. Here's the one that makes the most sense. Pretend that they're going to give you money for whatever celebration you want to have, but you've got to persuade them that that the celebration is the best or whatever. It's great, and here's how it will affect you, and so on. Um, Otherwise, they don't really say much more than it's a jury, right? Like whatever that means. But so basically, that's how I've been teaching it now for a little bit. It's you are explaining to a jury what your celebration is going to be and how beneficial it will be for you and maybe for your family or whatever. So again, you're making up a celebration. I don't really expect people to be doing this because I think in real life, I don't know, if everybody celebrated after every course, wouldn't we always be celebrating? But well, anyway, so I would say you're being creative, right? You're going to use your imagination, come up with some celebration that you're going to do after this course is finished. You're basically selling it, I guess I would say. That's another American way to think of it. You're selling it to these people, and if they're like, this is a great idea, they're going to fund it. Um, I added that part in because I think that makes more sense than just some jury that you're supposed to convince. Um, so in any event, and here I'll use the rubric to go over this. There are 3 paragraphs. Okay, so the first paragraph needs to be very, very specific about what the event is going to be, right? So if people are, flying to Florida or not Florida, flying to Hawaii or something like that, they're going to talk about it as specific as you can. Again, you're making it up so you can, but like when your flight goes out, the airline, what type of place you're staying at, what does it look like, what kind of food will you eat? So that's all about this part here. Um, Richly describing, let's see, hold on, let me just, this is the thing that I focus on. So the paragraph employs specific granular detail. That just means very, very specific detail, right? Like the food you'll be eating, that's an example of a very specific detail. Richly describing one specific celebration, um, or richly describing several celebratory actions, whatever that means. So I've had people talk about, they're going on trips to somewhere or they're going on some, I don't know, like natural world adventure thing or taking kids to museums or something. I forget. But like stuff like that, right? But it's supposed to be something where you're actually celebrating, that you finished a course and you did well and all of that. So the first paragraph is only that description. So you need a whole paragraph where all you do is describe the event, the celebration, who's going to be there, right? So all of the sort of details of all of that. That would have been helpful probably if they put like who. Yeah, all the details. So that's one paragraph. All right, second paragraph, you are trying to use these 3 things to persuade these people. Okay. Remember, and you studied this before. So again, you can look at this back in your textbook if that helps. But logos, ethos, logos, ethos, pathos, and kairos. So that means you're using logic and reason to convince them, and you want to use each one of these. So I would suggest that you have at least like a sentence for each one. You might have a couple sentences, but so one of the sentences that you're using is using logic to explain like why this is going to be a good celebration or positive. Then you're going to use credibility of somehow. Like for example, someone once said they were going to go scuba diving and that they were going to go use a licensed professional scuba dive trainer, right? And that's good because that would, if I'm going to give you money to go do something, I hope, I don't want you to go die doing something stupid. So that will help convince me. You're going to say, somebody who knows what they're doing. That's what ethos is about. It's about credibility. Emotion, you're just trying to play on the emotions. You're trying to make me feel like you deserve it, or it'll be tough. One of the examples from the past or the very recent past, people talked about how we just got out of like a serious quarantine and people haven't been anywhere. And so it's going to help the whole family, something, right? But trying to make it emotionally connect because that's what emotion does. And kairos just means using timeliness. Like, why is this the perfect time to do this celebration? Obviously, after class, so you're celebrating after class, but ones that have been good in the past that had to do with like the weather. The weather's perfect wherever we're going, so that's a good idea. So we need to go now. Um, we'll have the whole family right now can get together before people start to get married and have kids and stuff like that. So that would be a kairos argument. So anything that's like, well, why do you have to do it now? And you go, here's the reasons I have to do it now. So the logic is here is why the celebration is logical and it makes sense. Here is how credibility is part of the celebration, um, meaning you're using legitimate, credible things. Like you're not just going to go wing it somewhere and hitchhike across the country, right? Nope, you have reservations at places, like you know what you're doing. That's credibility. Emotion is you're trying to appeal to the emotion, like we really deserve this. This is really going to help us. Um, and then the other one is why down? Why is it important to go do this right now? And like I said, usually that has to do with the weather or people's availability, stuff like that. Okay, third paragraph. So here's what I advise. So you just used ethos, logos, pathos, kairos, all of those ways of persuading. Now they want you to practice this other way of arguing, um, where you're establishing common ground. And in this section, here's what I look for is a counter argument. Okay, so remember we did those way back, and a counter argument is part of this type of argument, the Tolman model. So what that means is in this paragraph, what I'm looking for is you to do two things basically.
Sorry, your voice is disconnected again.
Oh no! Thanks for telling me though. Hold on. I'm wondering if this is having a trouble.
Hello?
Hello? Now or no?
Yes,
Yo, you
I
can hear
can
me
hear
now?
you. Yeah.
Okay.
So regarding the third paragraph, it's a counter argument, and then
So the two things is a common ground with the jury. So, for example, I've had people say, I mean, some of you on the jury must be mothers, so you also know that it's important to be with your children, blah, blah, blah. That's a common ground thing, right? Where you sort of try to find something that you might have in common with the people on this jury. And then the second thing is the counter argument. Those are the two things that need to be in this paragraph. And the counter argument is where you say, well, some people will say, that going to Hawaii in the summer doesn't make any sense because it's so hot there, but it's the perfect time for us because it's actually hotter now in where I live than it will be in Hawaii, something like that. So again, establishing common ground, and then creating a counter argument. So those are the two things that live in this, in the third paragraph. So first paragraph, excellent description with very many details about what this celebration is going to involve, who's going to be with you, what's it about, what are the details, like down to the clothing people will wear, food that they'll eat, sensations in the sun and tanning, try to really, you're trying to appeal to people's senses, like sense of, all of the senses basically. So there's a paragraph just detailing the celebration using great descriptive language. Second paragraph is persuading the jury using these 4 types of methods, right? Logic and reason, appeal to credibility, appeal to the emotions of the jury, and appeal to timeliness, like this is the best time to do this. Here is why. So those 4 things are in this paragraph. The final paragraph, you're trying to connect with the jury, make a common ground argument, like find something, that they might be able to connect with. Like I said, in the past, students have talked about, some of you are mothers on the jury, so you know how it feels when you have to be away from your little child, who's at daycare all day, and this gives us a chance to bond, blah, blah, like that. So establish common ground, and then also do one counter argument where you try to think of what an opposing idea, like why would someone object to this celebration, and you're going to bring that up, and then you're sort of going to refute that, rebut that, or shoot it down, basically.
Who is going to be the jury, basically?
Well, they're in your mind. They're made up, right? They're imaginary.
Like,
they're just people. So yeah. So here's this is how it's explained. The jury they're this jury that exists, and this is their job, is to decide whether people can do their celebrations or not. It's weird, right?
it's weird. For example, if I decided to go to, convince the jury regarding going to Hawaii, so the jury, it's gonna be who? Like my parents?
No, that's the thing. I think the jury is not, it's not anybody you know. Let me see if they give us any more. It's like this. That's why I started to imagine like it's people who are going to pay for it, right? So it's someone at a bank or not even. It's like an award thing, right? So they're deciding whether to give you money to go do your celebration. So it's just that's how I think of it. So the jury's just people who are like, they're just general public. So there's no you're not really talking to anybody you know. So here's this idea. You're presenting your end of class celebration plans to a jury whose sole purpose is to approve or reject end of class celebration plans. This jury has decided many such cases, so it is your job to make your case compelling, engaging, exciting, unique, and sound, argumentative sound. Does that help? So what I'm saying is you don't necessarily need to really think about them much, right? And in fact, you can make them be whoever you want them to be. I mean, as long as they're not related to you, they're not friends, they're sort of objective people. So you could sort of be in your mind, you're like, okay, like the person who said some of you on the jury are mothers. She just made that up, and I was like, okay, that's cool, that works, right? They're just a group of people who get together and decide whether your celebration is good or not. I changed it a little bit because it makes more sense to me if I think of it as I'm basically pitching an idea to people, and if I do it well and I persuade them, then they're going to give me all the money I need to have my celebration, right? It's all made up still, but that gives me, you know what I mean? That makes it clear in my head. It might not work for everybody, but that's how I was thinking of it. Right. So my job is really to sell it, to make them believe like this is very worthy of our money. Congratulations, you get all the money, right? It would be great if it was true, but it's not.
So regarding the third paragraph, since we are gonna say the
Good question.
common ground,
Yeah.
and then create an argument with them. So we need to basically we talk about the jury on the third paragraph.
Only for one of them. I mean, for the common ground one, yeah. You basically want to find some idea from your celebration that general people can relate to, right? Like, for example, everybody can relate to the concept of a celebration, right? So you can say to the jury, I mean, I know many of you must have completed really difficult courses in your life, so you know what it feels like when you finally get through a course and you need to relax and right? So you're basically just going to assume whatever you want about the jury as like general people. And then your opposition is really, I mean, I guess it could be coming from them. I see what you mean, but in my mind, you're just trying to think of what somebody might say. Right. So it's still pretty general. It's not going to be a specific one. They're just going to, like, why would someone object to this? What about my celebration might somebody be like, oh, I don't know, that could be dangerous or that could be difficult or something, whatever. There's always some objection. So you just pick one of them and then you bring it up and then you try to refute it. Does that help?
So basically our final exam, it's not going to be like any question, like multiple choice. We need to just write about like the counter argument with the jury and make a scenario.
Yeah, your entire final exam are just these 3 paragraphs that I just explained. That's it.
And then we need to post it on the final exam, right?
Correct. Yep. Then you submit it and that's it. And you have 60 minutes to do it. But if I'm doing this, I probably, write it out a little bit beforehand, right? It's not like you have to sit down and then just do it in 60 minutes. I mean, I think that might be what they want you to do, but I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Instead, or at least what I would do, to be honest, what I would probably do is at least jot down, like a little outline or something. Like, here's what I'll say in this one. Here's what I'll say in this one. Here's what I'll say in this one. And then I go and take it.
Okay.
So you can plan whatever you want. Like, it's, because it's not that type of test where there's like, multiple choice or any of that stuff.
So we have to do it all there's no way that we can do it on like everything done by Sunday, since it's a lot of
I can't. No, that's what they say. I know. I have no idea why they do this, but I have to keep reminding people. I know you have to, because they're going to close the course is the problem. And then I don't know why, if it's some sort of like, I don't know, scheduling thing that they have.
Okay.
But there's no way to extend that. So my thing is just everybody needs, if you have any other work, I think you don't, but if other people have other work, anything you can get to me before this date, before Saturday, I can count that towards your grade, but after it's going to be real tough.
Okay.
I mean, unless something happens. But let me know if there's a real problem that comes up. I'll figure something out, right? But in general, Saturday, which is
okay. Thank you so much.
Okay, I hope that helped. Let me know.
Sure.
Email if you have any other questions or you need anything else. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Have a great day.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.